welcome to Shit They Don't Tell You. We are a CastBox original, produced in partnership with Studio 71.
It's not a partnership. It's more than that. It's a friendship.
Yeah.
And CastBox happens to be the fastest growing, highest rated podcast app on both iOS and Android.
And you can find all your favorite podcasts here. I mean, you could listen to Shit They Don't Tell You on other places, but...
No, you could listen to it on iOS, Android. Maybe you're doing that right now. But we happen to think that CastBox is the best place to do that. The highest quality audio.
So listen to it on CastBox. What are you waiting for? Like, what are you honestly waiting for?
The best video playback.
What are you doing your nails? What are you waiting for? What are you waiting for?
The text font they use on the app is stellar. It's just an unbelievable service.
What is it, Helvetica?
Yeah, it's Helvetica.
Helvetica?
It's a great service.
Get CastBox.
Hey, you know what the shit they didn't tell you about CastBox is? That it's the best, and they should have. It should have been in the branding.
They should have really told you that.
Why didn't anyone tell me?
Okay, please welcome our first guest. Wow, it's like a late night show.
Podcast?
No. I want to say, please
okay.
welcome. Yeah, please welcome our first guest, everybody. And how about a round of applause, please? Thank you. Please welcome our first guest, Tiffany Del Real. Right, nailed it. And Casey Wing-Ho Chan. The famous Casey Wing-Ho Chan.
Why did you say that with the Asian accent?
So people,
Wing-Ho Chan.
Casey,
that was it. That was it.
Nice.
Accurate, 100%.
Thank you.
How are you? Thanks for coming.
Thank you for having us.
Of course, both of you from the very famous JK film.
Do I get introduced or not? Am I
Not
just
even
like
your
not?
wife.
My wife, Nikki Limo.
Yeah,
Nikki Limo Greene.
Thank you. And my co-host, Steve Greene.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You said it right. Yeah.
I thought you were going to say it.
Well, you have to say it very boringly.
You know, I could
Steve
say
Greene.
Greenie.
Greenie,
So I have the
you
freaking
pronounce
E on the
the E.
end.
Yeah. Hey, you have one
silent.
too, pal, so just chill over there.
All right. So thank you so much for coming on today. We wanted to talk about, well, first of all, you guys are YouTubers. You guys are on JK Films, Party, News. You both work at the same company, and you're married.
Yay.
You've been married for almost a year now.
Almost.
Congrats.
This is a very exciting yay. How's it feel?
It feels crazy because time flew by so fast, and then like everything, like our entire relationship, it feels like it went by in a blink of an eye. It just went by so fast.
Yeah.
Like we're now at this point. It's crazy.
When did you guys get together? First start dating?
2012.
Yeah.
May.
So
He's like, I'm being tested.
It's almost, we're
almost
coming
6
up
years.
on that 6-year mark. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, almost at the 7-year itch.
Isn't that when the world was supposed to end or some shit?
Yeah.
Well, isn't it?
Oh yeah, it was.
Like 2012?
Well, first they were like October 2011, and then it didn't happen. They're like, no, never mind. May
Yeah, was that-
May
and then
2012.
That was the
December or
cult,
something,
right?
right?
It was
Yeah.
like, hey, look, no, swear to God, this time, 3 months from now.
No, really, it's really happening. And people were giving away their pets. I remember reading an article about how people were giving away their pets because they wanted them to have a good life with atheists after they got saved
What?
by
They actually
God.
thought that.
Wow.
Yeah, so
I
they were-
love that. But see,
Okay.
what I really love is that after the 3-month mark, they're like, hey, man, can I have Mr. Snuffleupagus gets back?
I know. It's like, can I have him back?
We really mistook this thing. You know what I mean? Turns out we got another 4 years.
Or do you think they got left behind?
Oh.
Yeah. Like
they
weren't
never
good
returned
enough
to get him.
go. Yeah.
I would be too proud to admit that my mistake, and I just wouldn't.
Be like, well, it's probably that one hooker I fucked in Mexico on spring break. It was a poor choice.
That's what did it.
I didn't get saved.
Yeah.
So actually, what we wanted to talk about today was how to make a long-term relationship work. And I do want to emphasize the work part because it does take work.
A lot.
I don't
or
know
it's
why
super
we're
easy.
here. I don't even know if I can answer your questions.
You're like,
Yeah.
we're broken up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
We're not
no one
even
knows
together.
this, but just kidding.
So did you guys meet through working together, or did you get in a relationship and then start working together?
No, we first got into a relationship and then we started working together. Because I
Okay.
used to work a 9 to 5 at the hospital and he was doing his JK
I was already with
grind.
JK, yeah.
Yeah, and so I remember in the early days though, I couldn't wrap my head around like how can you stay in a meeting for 5 hours? Like how does that work? And so we would actually argue because of the different
major
lifestyles that we
arguments
had.
about
Wait,
that.
who would have meetings? Like
I would
Jake-
have
Jake-
meetings.
you
I would
guys
have meetings with Bart and Joe.
Oh,
and
well,
if you
that's
know
why
Bart
they
and
lasted
Joe,
5 hours,
yeah,
because they're
it's
fucking
like,
breaking into the analysis of everything that's discussed.
Exactly.
Oh, I
She
love
And
it.
they go into
she couldn't
tangents
understand
like
that.
crazy.
And she'd be like, "Are you? What's going on at the office? Who's at the office?"
It's like we're just trying to decide if we're going to paint the wall red or not.
yeah.
For like 2 hours.
I love this though because this is actually a really common problem with couples that don't get to see each other during the day, that don't work together. But I'm gonna go through a pros and cons list of like working together as a couple. But one of the cons of working together, or one of the cons of not working together, is that you don't get to spend as much time together, and you don't really understand each other's work life. So what were like some of the arguments that you guys had, and like how'd you get through that?
Yeah, well, I mean, one of the major ones was that I just couldn't understand how he would spend the entire day at the office and still not get home in time for like dinner, like a decent dinner.
And you're like, this is shady, right?
So I'm like, what is he up to? And then plus, obviously, like there was a lot of like trust issues in the beginning and a lot of communications issues. So it was really hard for me to believe what he was even saying in the beginning, because I'm like, are you
at all?
at all? Like he was so bad. I mean, he's still working on it, but
you
was just so
communicated to
bad.
that other girl.
She just said he's still bad at it, but he's working on it. That's,
But you've gotten better. I'll give you
Yes.
credit. He has gotten better. But no, in the beginning it was so bad. I would be like just to even find out, like, are we gonna have dinner together at all tonight? And he wouldn't even respond to me for hours, and I'm sitting at home like fuming.
that.
I'm like,
That's one
can
of
you
my
communicate?
Huge pet peeves.
Yes.
I totally understand that.
Yeah.
Two of my exes were like that, where I'm like, I get back to people immediately, unless I'm working or shooting or something. But like, if it's like dinner plans or whatever, I get back to them immediately. Steve's actually the first boyfriend that I ever dated that responds at the same pace that I do.
Oh, nice.
That's good.
Like if he's working, then yeah, it takes him a while. But like,
like
usually,
if I was underground, that's because
Yeah.
I go underground literally to write.
it sounds like you're
You have
like a
to.
caveman,
Right.
like a
mole.
miner, like
Yeah, but no,
mining.
but
He works the coal mines.
no, it's
Everyone does ask, like, how do you guys survive on YouTube? Well, Steve has a second job as a coal miner.
yeah, exactly.
Health
No,
insurance
so-
is through the roof.
So I go underground, actually subterranean,
Yeah.
when I write with my buddy Mike, and we.
In a basement. Can we
Yeah, we're-
clarify?
we're in a
Okay,
basement.
I'm like, what does that mean?
It's in like a
No,
like
but,
a conference
but
room.
it's great
that's-
because you can't get any cell phone service down there. So you literally can't fuck around.
Where is there a basement in LA?
LA.
So it's at
Yeah.
his apartment complex.
There's a basement?
shady, right? Shady.
I don't believe it
down
until
a-
I see it,
Well,
guys.
it doesn't look like a basement even from the outside, but it is below the ground, below sea level, as they say, right? I don't know. But yeah, so it's great because then you can't plug in.
Right.
You have to be away from all of it.
What happens when you guys have to research, like do some R&D?
There's a really bad Wi-Fi in the building. It's really bad. So we have to log into it every time because it like makes you refresh it every 15 minutes.
How annoying.
Yeah, so it's terrible. But it really helps you stay on task. And
True,
stuff.
true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's great.
That's true.
So in those times, do you give her a heads up and you're like, oh, just
Yeah.
to let you know I'm going to be underground?
But even in those days, Nikki was like, "You're always going to write. What the hell is all this shit?" Like I remember that.
Oh, it wasn't that I didn't believe you where you were going. It was just that I wanted you to put some priority on our relationship because we both prioritize career. But you do need to put work into a relationship, and you need to put time into it. And I think that's what the hard part is for a lot of people, and why people can't make a relationship last long term, because you have to find that balance of being able
Definitely.
to put the time and energy into work, and then put the time and energy into your relationship. And in our industry, it kind of goes in waves. So for the first year that we were dating, it happened to be the wave of him working a lot, even though in that first year you need to really foster that relationship.
Yeah.
So it wasn't that I was like, oh, he's not doing that, but I was like, well, gosh, like am I ever gonna fit into the picture? Because so far this is the pattern. I don't see you all day long.
Definitely
I sound
felt
so
that.
cool. Right? I sound like I ride a motorcycle with a leather jacket, and I'm like, listen, I'll be back when I'm back. But really, I was just underground riding with Mike.
Yeah.
But I don't know what you mean. Because that was like the source of almost all of our arguments back then.
Yeah.
Was because I was trying to parlay. Because my whole thing was like, I don't know when this YouTube shit's running out. So I have to parlay while I can. So me and Mike were just writing scripts for free in a basement.
Yeah.
Like literally
That
like.
was the other
That's
thing,
rough.
is that none of the scripts had been made yet either. So it wasn't like, oh, he's writing, but he's bringing income in. It was
Yeah.
like, oh, he's writing for hours, I never see him, and this isn't what's paying.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, my YouTube videos were still paying for my shit at that point.
Yeah.
And so I was like, but I promise you everything I'm doing right now will pay off. Like I just need to keep doing this. And so I would go and write like for 4 days out of the week I was over there like for like 10, 12 hours a day and shit like that. But it paid off later, but at the time you had to put the work in so you could parlay. That was my whole thing.
Yeah.
I could relate to that totally, just because I feel like the budding artist all kind of, especially if you're a guy budding artist, I feel like we all kind of have like the same mentality of going into the workspace as this is my dream, this is my career, this is what I've moved out to LA for, and anything that gets in the way becomes kind of like, you know, like irrelevant to me, and that includes girlfriends and significant others, you know. And easily as an artist, I feel like we get so sucked into our own like imagination, like we just kind of brush away like, you know, in loved ones.
Yeah, and I thought I had to like almost like hockey check you a couple times. I remember doing that.
Yeah,
where I would be like, I love comedy more than you and shit.
I know.
Damn.
Well, well, here's the thing too, is that I have always been the one in the relationship to put career ahead of the relationship. So this was the first time that I had been put second. But I mean, well, not second. I didn't put second a lot, but second
I
to
agree.
career.
I put you second
and
for sure
but
in that year.
But also that I feel like even though I put career first, I was still able to balance. And so I'm like, how come you can't do it? If I'm putting career first and still finding time for the relationship, how come you can't do that? But guys do tend to be more like focused, able to do one task at a time.
We're not multitaskers.
Women multitask.
Yeah, not at all.
And so we're like, okay, first I'll do this for the home, and then I'll do this for my personal life, and then I'll do this for the relationship. And like it's all categorized, and we're kind of like doing all the stuff at one time. And even though I was putting everything I had into acting, I always like carved out time. Well, like, oh, Steve gets off work at this time, so we'll have dinner around here. And so if you're not carving out that same time, it really like would make me mad because it took work for me to carve that out of my schedule.
I
Yeah, I'd be
totally
like-
relate to that.
Yeah.
I'd be like, yo, we going late, sorry.
Yeah, because
Yo.
well,
Yeah.
it got in the way
At
of
least
our,
you told
our
her,
sex
though.
life.
That's true.
At least you told her, because
Yeah.
I didn't even get any heads up from this one over here.
Man, we're just getting roasted today, buddy.
I know. Okay, let's change the subject, guys.
Yeah, shit.
I felt like okay, so sex is really important in the beginning of a relationship. It's important in general, but especially in the beginning, that's how you find intimacy. That's how you like grow, like get to know each other.
That's how you get off, son.
That's right. That's right.
Hell yeah,
That's
son.
how you see if you have chemistry, all that stuff. And I felt like when we first started dating, we were having sex a lot. And then within the few months, he was working all the time and we weren't having sex like at all.
Yeah.
And so he would promise the dinner date
Not
was
for
more
months,
like,
though, but like, you know.
but it was less than what we were having
Just to
before.
be clear.
Yeah, so no, it was like we were having sex like multiple times a day to having it like once every other week. But those dinner dates were really like sex dates. So when he was saying, I'm not going to be home, it's like, really? Like, again? Like, and I felt farther and farther away from him. Like, it felt like it made some distance between us. And I still feel that way. Like, whenever we don't have sex for an extended period of time, probably after 2 weeks maximum, I start to get...
Oh, we don't go to 2 weeks. Though.
But that's like our maximum.
Yeah, that's the max.
But I feel distant from you, and I start like...
That's if like I had the flu and you had like cramps or
Man,
whatever.
you guys are way better than us. Like, we go like weeks.
We don't do sex
weeks.
dates either. That's
we don't.
maybe we should be
you
taking
definitely
notes.
need to carve
Where's
out sex dates.
Isn't it crazy that when you're like a teenager, Casey,
Yeah.
as a man, you're like, I will have a wife. I will fuck her literally every hour of every day.
Absolutely.
I will feel her boobs all
Absolutely.
day. I will feel her butt all day, right? And then you get there and it's like, man, I'm fucking tired, dude.
Okay, so I don't know if this happens to you, but if it's gone longer than a week, I start getting really mad at him for no reason.
Yeah.
Like, I just start, like,
I do.
hating things about him.
Yeah,
for
and then every
no
single
reason.
argument, like every single little petty thing that you start picking at, like
Yeah.
now it's just so much heightened and more intensified because I'm like, I'm sex deprived. I need some deep.
Yeah,
So-
and I don't even realize that it's the sex deprivation. Like, I just think he's just being extra annoying. And then I
Yeah.
realize, like, oh, we haven't had sex in over a week.
And
Like,
then I'll notice it in him too. I see like he's even more agitated, and I'll bring it up to you. And
Yeah.
I'm like, I think it's time. Like we need
So
to
we're
we need
working
to
the
figure
same
things out.
same fight here. How come we don't have more sex?
well,
more
because
often?
then when
Yeah.
you guys go to have sex, you're so annoyed at the other
Yeah.
person, but you need the sex in order to not be annoyed at them anymore. But
It's a
you're just, like,
catch-22.
so, yeah. So I was watching this. What was it? Planet Earth. And
Oh, yeah.
this
That's-
snow leopard
right.
really reminded me of
Oh
me.
yeah, I remember the snow
So,
leopard.
Like, this was the first time they found footage of like snow leopards mating, and the snow leopard, was in heat. So she's calling out, she's roaring from the top of a mountain, and the male snow leopards can hear her from up to 2 miles. So she's like, rah, I'm horny, I'm horny, I'm horny. But then the males get there and she's like, no, fuck off, get away from me. And she's like, no, but I'm horny. No, but fuck off. No, but I'm horny. No, but go away. No, but I'm horny.
That would never
Basically.
happen to humans.
And then like after
That happens to you.
That's Nikki like
happens.
every
That's
day.
literally girl.
I'm
No,
like,
but the guy would never push off the girl, though.
well, that's what.
Oh,
That's what
I
you
see
mean,
what
the
you're
other
saying.
way.
Yeah,
And
Yeah,
that's how the
mating
snow
call.
leopards were. So
Yeah.
the girl's like, I need sex. And then the guys are like, okay, I'm here. And she's like, no, go away. And then the guys are like, but you want? And she's like, I need it.
I know.
Plus, I don't know if have you seen this episode?
Yeah,
No.
yeah.
Like,
I
as
saw
a-
it. yeah,
as
we
a
did.
man.
We saw it together.
I think I might have fell asleep.
As a man, that's
See,
awesome,
see,
Casey.
see,
Wow.
see?
Seeing a lot of it right here. No, but as a man, I was hearing the snow leopard crying, and I was like, God damn, that's a sexy fucking snow leopard.
What?
I really was. I was actually really
Yeah.
impressed by it. I thought it was really
You're
alluring.
so stupid. You
did, a
don't
little
know
bit.
when you're joking or
No,
not.
I thought it was a little bit alluring.
Do you
His
wish that
high-pitched
Nikki
voice.
would do like a snow
I
leopard?
wish that she would call out to me.
Yeah, you think that's hot?
I do. Yeah, I do.
Bro.
Oh, baby.
No,
Like
but
it-
honestly, I feel like guys do, or at least Casey I know does do it, where it's like, okay, we already established the fact that we need some sex. We've been fighting way more often than we usually do. We're at each other's throats, like, let's get this going. So then
Let's
I'll
book it.
initiate some stuff, but then for him, it's like, no, I'm still mad at that one thing that you did 10 weeks
Oh,
ago.
you're the snow leopard.
He is.
True.
That's him. So I'm
okay.
like, oh, like I've never dealt that with other guys.
Dude,
like
all the
that.
guys
I
listening right now,
hope-
like, oh, I would fuck her every day. Oh, you have no idea, Casey. Oh, you what a waste. You gotta get rid of this dude.
Oh wait,
Don't you love that shit?
wait till you work and live and breathe next to your wife every
Oh, yeah.
single
That's right. Wait till you
second
hear,
of the
Wait till you
day.
hear her rip a fucking cheek at 2:30 in the morning, pal.
That's
No,
what-
actually, that we respect each other's like fart thing. We have a fart.
Oh
thing.
wait, we
Yeah,
never
that's one
fart.
thing we respect.
We
is our
respect
farts.
is our farts. Yeah,
If not
exactly.
anything else, we do respect the fart.
No
Yeah.
farting. I will take a dump in front of him in the
Wow.
morning. Only
We
in
don't
the
do
morning.
dumps either.
Okay, good. Good.
No, yeah, I
Fuck
get.
his work ethic, but man, I respect that
I
fart.
will take a coffee dump.
Oh no, the worst kind.
Right?
No,
But
yeah.
I do want to talk about that because now you guys work together. So when you talk about living, breathing, working together all the time, when did you start working together in your relationship? Like, how long into the relationship?
I think maybe a year and a half in, or 2 years.
Yeah,
I
we
think
brought
of
her
that.
on board, JK, to help out with like some behind the scenes stuff in the beginning, and then eventually, she was always like, the JK crew, like we're not very like social media minded people, even though we're on social media,
Yes.
which is kind of
It's a
ironic.
conundrum. It
yeah,
is.
Oh, it's
absolutely.
because you're over 25. That's
Yeah.
Yeah, we're just getting old.
why.
We're geezers on the internet.
Well, like we didn't grow up with social media. I feel like these young people, they grew up with it, so like they just,
Yeah.
it's like second nature
Right.
to them. So these young people, like I'm so ancient.
Those youngins, yeah. But Tiff, she was actually active on social media in terms of like utilizing Twitter and Facebook for news and being very amongst the cheese-me. I'm learning Spanish too, by the way. Not
Nice.
really.
Nice.
No,
Beautiful.
not at all.
Beautiful
But,
delivery.
But so we brought her on board to help out with JK News just because she was already kind of in tune with the whole.
Well, it started off with the skits. I was like helping produce skits and
Oh,
stuff.
right, the
that
skits
was the
too.
beginning.
Yeah.
That's when we worked closer together because he was a director and I'd be like helping produce, or like I'd be the PA and stuff on set.
Okay.
And
Those
actually,
are sexy times as a
Sleeping
director.
with the director.
Yeah.
Oh, buddy.
No, actually, that did cause a little bit of friction too, because while we were on set, since I didn't come, like, I'm not in this world, like
The
this
entertainment industry,
Yeah,
yeah.
I've never ever dealt with it, so I didn't know the norms of the industry, where it's like when you're on set, you respect the hierarchy and stuff, and so like I would be the PA, and then I would make suggestions. 'Cause I'm just like, oh, my boyfriend and my friends, like we're just working together. But then I remember Gio would have to she would talk to me and be like, no, when we're on set and when we're filming, you got to respect what he's saying, because I would just totally brush off his judgment.
Oh, yeah.
I'd be like, no, that's dumb. Like, let's do this.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. So then it's like, then I learned in that environment, it's like, no, like he's like the god of the set. You cannot like talk down to him or like question his decisions or anything. So I'm like, okay. So then I had to learn how to flip a
Casey,
switch.
I saw a twinkle in his eye just now.
That's
like,
right.
I know what part of the podcast he's going to roll back to and listen to again.
right now.
The god of
God
the
of the
set.
set, buddy.
That's right.
Hell yeah.
I'm gonna put that on my Instagram.
for you,
It's
man.
God
Casey
of the
Chan,
set.
god of the set.
Beautiful.
But yeah, so I had to learn how to remove our relationship, like our professional relationship with our intimate personal relationship. Like that was something that was kind of challenging too, because that would cause arguments sometimes too, because I just didn't understand like the whole like the different worlds. I came from like a 9-to-5 world where it's like, oh, I just turn my brain off as soon as I clock out. Like I don't bring work with me. But then with him, it's like work is 24/7. Like it never, even during our vacations, he would take his laptop and just be editing. I remember we went to Cancun and he's like editing on the beach, and I'm like, "What are you doing?" Like and that trip was like for his birthday, so I was like, I was like trying to like I was the one that surprised him with the trip, and I'm like, "Come on, like I'm trying to spend time with you here, but you're all about work." Like he was such a major workaholic.
That was the entertainment slogan, though.
Yeah.
It was the show must go on, and I was like, "Oh, the show must go on." Keep editing.
I've definitely been there in Casey's position, but I was like, I have to stay on the schedule, but I don't want to. I'd rather be enjoying the vacation. But if I let the schedule slip, then I might not get back on. I might not get back on the schedule. And so in my head, I would just, it became more important than enjoying the vacation, which is something that I've had to like correct lately, because it's like, when you think of everything, what is life for? Are you working to live, or are you living to work?
Exactly.
And I didn't want to be living to work anymore. So now it's all finding that balance. It's so hard.
It is.
And okay, so you started working together. So before, your problem was you weren't seeing enough of each other, and you were upset about not getting enough time. And now you were seeing each other all the time, but there was a power struggle and a needing to separate the relationship from the work life. And how soon after that did you go to where you are now, where you, Tiffany, kind of work more on JK News, and then Casey, you work more with the JK Films stuff? How long did it take to get there, and do you like it better?
I'm not sure how long it took.
It's a yes or no question.
I think
Tiffany.
it was pretty.
Answer the question, Tiffany.
I think it was pretty instant because, one, we moved in together like 6 months into our relationship, so it's really early.
It was really
so did we.
rushed.
Yeah, us
Oh
too.
yeah. Oh, okay,
Yeah.
cool. Hey, same.
Yeah.
buddies.
And we
vacation together.
And
And
we
we
did.
vaca-
Yeah.
and
And we got married in the same month.
Yeah, we
Sorry.
did.
Did we?
We're on
Yeah,
the
yeah.
same life path.
Yeah, we are.
The only difference is we got together a year after you guys initially. Like
2013.
Yeah, we were in May
Okay.
of 2013.
Oh,
only
okay.
1 year.
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys are coming up on 5 years.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
So we still got kind of spicy, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Still got
Wait
that
till
side.
year
Oh,
6,
I know.
guys. I'm warning you now.
Yeah.
I heard.
shit.
I heard.
Shit.
That's all I heard.
No, but I definitely love this lifestyle way more than anything that we've experienced in the past, because like even though we're still working with the same company, we don't necessarily work together. So
Yeah.
we get time to breathe away from each other. And then obviously at home, like we have our shared office, and he'll be in there working, and I like working in the bedroom. So like we don't even see each other when we're working at
You
home.
like working in the bedroom, huh?
I do. I like laying down on the bed and working there.
Oh,
That's
slow
your
it down.
desk.
That is my desk. But-
And you get to complain about your boss together, and you both are talking about the same boss. How cool is that?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All the time.
I've never been in that situation before, which is
Yeah.
very interesting. I mean, they're obviously cool guys, but I'm saying to have the same boss
Yeah.
is so interesting.
Yeah,
I don't know. You know what? I don't know. We don't
'Cause you don't
really
look at them like
see
that.
them as
I know,
bosses,
yeah, that
though.
makes
Yeah, we
they're
honestly
like
don't.
homies. You know, they're
They're
I
our
friends.
only
friends.
call them bosses because I swear Bart on every Instagram post talks about how he's a boss, and so I'm like, I guess he's a boss then. All right, it's working.
You know what's so funny about having friends within like social media? It's that we know what each other like our real
position.
personalities
Oh,
are,
yeah.
like personality versus persona, and it's so funny to see what people like project out there through social media versus when you finally meet them, or we are close friends, and like to know their real personality. It's I don't know. It's just so like polarizing to me to kind of like right now,
Yeah.
like I feel like I need to turn on the persona thing, but then but it's
Nah.
a podcast, so it's
Yeah.
like I'm like, oh no,
You could be the real you, Casey.
yeah,
Yeah, be the
gotta
real
Leave the
Casey.
fake
me.
you at home.
Yeah, exactly.
Be
Leave it for
Casey Chan,
JK.
not Casey Wingho Chan.
Exactly,
Do
right?
it for the vlog channel. The family-friendly vlog channel.
I know that's our channel. Yeah, sometimes when
Yeah.
I see like I'll review the footage where he's like vlogging by himself, I'm like, who's that guy?
Yeah.
Is he sexier? Yeah,
I mean,
hotter.
No, I like you, like who
Oh,
you
okay.
are.
Yeah.
I
don't
like
know
this Casey.
I don't
This
even know
is
who I
sexy to
am.
me.
I think I understand my persona better than my own personality. It's
I think
so
that happens to
weird.
a lot of tubers, man.
Yeah.
I think it becomes like, oh, people seem to like this,
Right,
so I'll keep
right.
being this guy.
Yeah.
It's so
Yeah, see, I
interesting.
don't
It's
know if I relate
poisonous.
to that. I mean, I don't know if I intentionally. I know for sure I don't intentionally try to do that. Like try to put up a persona, and like I just try to be what
Do you
I
feel
am.
like
I
you
don't
have
know.
to show that you're happy all the time rather than like all parts
Oh,
of
that's
yourself?
true. That's true. That's
That's-
true.
that's
I do
very
feel
true.
that for our channel specifically because over time, especially seeing the comments and seeing how people perceive us, I'm like, oh, okay, so they come to this channel for happy feeling and like good vibes and like they like to see our family dynamic. Not that we fake it or we exaggerate it in any way, but that's definitely true. Where
Well,
sometimes
you leave
we're not
out
feeling,
the parts that don't pertain to that
Yeah.
branding.
Yeah.
And so
That's
it's
for
like
sure
you only show a part of the pie, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, you cut the get away from me, bitch.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like
yeah,
that.
that, but see, I've noticed that, and I always wondered because, I've been close to a lot of YouTubers like for years, and they do that sort of thing, and then it makes everyone feel like they have an unrealistic relationship, and so that's what they need in their lives is an unrealistic relationship as well, because they watch it, right? So it's
Yeah.
like I'm watching like I don't mean to like Shay Carl, right? But like I like Shay Carl. I always feel like I have to say that before I say the next thing. But I really do like Shay Carl. But the idea of like, hey, we have the perfect relationship because we edit everything and make sure that everyone sees the perfect relationship at all times. I think it creates a standard for the viewership that gives them unrealistic expectations in relationships.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
why I think it's
absolutely.
important to at least talk about I mean, not
Yeah.
necessarily like for me personally, I don't want to show the negative stuff, but
Yeah.
we are for sure like open to talk about like we do have like right now we're talking about our sex life and how we don't have sex for weeks. Like that's fine with me. Like I don't
Will you
feel
fuck
like
her already, Casey?
We will do this in the bathroom right out in the hallway.
Do it.
Yeah.
Please. Give this woman some dick.
No, but yeah, I agree though. Like I don't like how everything's being so perceived as like this needs to be perfect. Like
Yeah.
you know, it's
Yeah,
just but
because then you get like the boyfriend versus girlfriend thing where people don't even see it coming because they never showed any sort of
or even talk about it.
Boyfriend versus
Charles-
Girlfriend is the channel, right? The just to
Yeah.
fill everyone
Yeah.
in.
Oh,
so,
yeah,
So
yeah.
they were together, Gina and Jesse, right?
Yes.
And then all of a sudden they broke up. They're a very popular channel of them being together for like
For
years.
years,
And then
yeah.
all of a sudden they broke up, and it looks like it came out of nowhere because everyone was like, "What the hell?" They had the most perfect relationship because
Yeah.
like what we're saying.
and also Charles Trippy.
Oh yeah.
And that one came out of nowhere too for people
Oh, I
because
didn't
they
know about
always.
him.
Well, he recently remarried,
Oh,
but
okay.
back in the day, he was like one of the first YouTubers to start the daily vlogging trend, where like you're vlogging your life every day, and it just seemed like they had the perfect relationship, and they never really showcased any of the bad. Because why would you? Like, why would you want to
Yeah.
show people your dirty laundry? I guess
Right,
there's two trains of thought there. It's like. One is, don't show any of the bad because it's, why would you show
Who
public
would want
that?
to? Yeah, because even like amongst friends, like we don't argue in front of friends.
Yeah.
You try not to. You try not
Exactly.
to like leak it out or whatever.
Yeah.
Right? The negative energy.
Don't you love that when you're in like a heated argument, right? Like with me and Nikki, and then we go to your guys' house, and it's like, hey, and then I'm seeing Nikki, and she's like, hey, and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, hi, like, hey, look, you're not mad at me right now.
He can't do that.
I,
Oh, really?
Can't.
I'm not
he
an actor.
cannot
I
hide
can't
it.
do
If we get, and that's something like in our relationship too that we would argue a lot about because I'm like, you're such a drama queen. Like no one needs to know. Like the world doesn't need to know when we're fighting because like we will be in a group of friends and then we'll be bickering, but then he'll be the one to raise his voice and everyone else is like, whoa. And I'm like, why do you have to kill the energy for everyone else? I'm
Because
like,
once I get mad, I just see red, and it's just like I don't. It's like the Conor McGregor thing. It's like once I'm mad, I'm just start throwing, my imaginary dollies at buses, and I don't care who I hit. It's just I need to lash out.
you have gotten a lot better
it
though.
sucks though.
Over
Yeah,
the
I know.
He
years.
needs some
I know.
meditation techniques.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
he
do.
has been
I know, and that's
for-
exactly
You
what I
do?
did.
Oh,
That's
gosh.
exactly where
That's
I went.
what saved our relationship,
Yeah.
honestly, when he started
Mindfulness,
doing
yeah.
Oh,
mindfulness.
nice.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that saved
absolutely.
us like
It
crazy.
actually really helped me a lot too because I don't lash out at him. Like I'm not usually mad at him. I just have like my own like PMS stuff and hormones and just
It's your
anxiety.
pain body.
And, yes.
I started reading The Power of Now.
You did
Yeah.
good. I love that book. By the way, everyone should go read The Power
Yes,
of Now.
it's
Eckhart
a really
Tolle's,
great book.
It'll change your life. But yeah, and needing like having to control it was really hard for me because I don't want to take it out on him, but I feel all these emotions and I don't know what to do with them, and so that.
But it's
really did.
inevitably going to happen because I live with you. And
Totally.
we work together all the time. So it's chill.
But I will say, when going to parties, if we have a fight in the car, let's say, or an argument or whatever, and we're all like heated, it really does change my mood to go to the party. Like I'm not faking the happiness
True,
at the party.
yeah.
Like it separates it for me. Like we're no longer in the car fighting. So I'm not talking to him. I'm talking to a brand new person and feeding off of their energy. So their energy is not angry. It's not like fighty.
And whereas your energy towards me is just anger and violence.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So.
Why are you still alive?
Hey, remember when you said the other day that you was gonna hit me?
I don't know what you're talking about.
No. But do you remember that?
Blink twice if you need help, Steve.
This is way
I'm
more than
blinking
twice.
like
He
crazy.
doesn't need help. See? That's like 5 times.
I just gave
That
a
means he's
strobe
happy.
of blinking.
That means happy.
But no, like moments like that, real moments,
Yeah.
where I don't even think it was me necessarily. I know I was party to it, but it was you were having you know.
It was a lack of
Perfect storm.
communication. And that's mostly where all of her fights have ever stemmed from, is like misunderstandings.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Because
that's
when we
so
understand
true.
each other, we usually are on the same page. We've
Absolutely.
never like had an actual argument where how we view life is different. It's always been just a miscommunication or a misunderstanding, and that's why communication is like so important
Yeah, I
to
would
making a
stress that so
long-term
much, too.
relationship.
Do you want to apologize?
I think I already did.
Yeah. Publicly apologize?
I think I already did. In the way
in a
of
public forum, it feels.
I think I used my body to apologize, if I recall.
Oh, that's for sure. That's for sure.
Twice in a row.
That's the best
for sure.
apology, right?
That's-
Like,
that's
what
the
else
best
do you
kind.
want?
We'll
That's
take
the best
that.
kind.
We'll take that.
You want words, then
No, but I was telling her on the way here, I wanted to be the guy, like, because she was like, I want to hit you so bad right now. I wanted to be the guy where after she hits me, I want to be like, I feel unsafe.
well, I didn't hit you. You're making it sound like I hit you.
No, I know, but
didn't hit you.
I just think that's hilarious. Like a guy saying to this little girl, like,
okay.
you made me feel unsafe, okay?
That's getting more and more prevalent now, though. It's like I feel like
Oh,
there's
yeah.
more like husbands and boyfriends that are like putting the restraining orders on the girlfriends and
Yeah, well,
wives.
okay.
That's
I
true.
don't think domestic
Crazy.
violence in either direction is okay. Like, it's not
I
okay
think
for
it's great.
women
No, I'm
to hit
kidding.
men unless they deserve it.
Nice. We're kidding.
But
Relax.
No, we're kidding. I used an I statement. I said, I feel like I want to hit you right now. Okay?
That's good.
It wasn't that I was going to hit you. I just felt like I wanted to.
It's
And
okay
then how
because
does that
I
work
talk
out?
I talk about beating her up all the time. You know what I'm talking about?
A different kind of
But in a
beating
different
up.
kind of way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So one of the biggest cons to working together is, if you're in the same space all the time, you feel like you don't have the opportunity to miss each other. And I found that's one of the major things for me. I feel like we work pretty well together. We live together. We work from home even, so we're not even like in different buildings. He's in the other room, and I'm in the office, and he's in the living
And
room.
we're only in
and-
a 2-bedroom, so it's like you're
yeah.
pretty close.
So we see a lot of each other, and we do pretty well because he's like a sounding board. If I need like some feedback on a video or something like that, he's right there. He has the same judgment as I do, so it's like nice having a second pair of eyes there. But I will say that needing those days alone, like where it's just me in the house or just me doing something on my own, I absolutely need that for our relationship because I need to be able to miss him. Otherwise, it just feels like I feel claustrophobic almost. Do you guys
Yeah.
get that?
Definitely.
Yeah, like sometimes like knowing that we work and live together, it's like just driving home from the office back to home or home to office to meet her again at the office. Like I end up like taking the longer route sometimes. Just to, like I need a little bit more me time, a little bit more like I need my own thoughts right now and gather
Yeah.
myself before.
And then you get out of the car, you walk very slowly.
Yeah, absolutely.
As slowly
yeah.
as you
You know,
can. Maybe
sometimes I
tie both
feel-
your
Smell
shoes.
the flowers real
Sometimes I
quick.
feel like he starts the dumbest arguments on purpose so we won't speak to each other for the rest of the day, and then he gets so much work done.
I do get more work done when I'm mad. I get
because
way
it's true. It was
With-
such a telling
With my
smile.
ex, I used to strategically do that too. I
Yeah.
really would. I would strategically
dang.
get into an argument. I've never done it with you, with Nikki.
Yeah.
So what's wrong here, huh? No, just kidding.
But I would strategically get into an argument so I could get some shit done and not have to worry about like whatever the hell.
Right? Because
Oh, yeah.
there's no more of the nagging and the annoying. No, I'm playing.
No, it's true. I know
Nagging,
you.
annoying, constantly rambling about whatever. Yeah.
You know, but in my defense, I wouldn't be nagging if you just listen.
Yeah, Casey.
God damn it.
I don't know. That's just I can't help but do my shit the way I do. I don't
No,
know.
the
I
point-
don't
You're a
know.
man,
The point
dude. You
is-
got a hard
It's
head.
really
bro.
hard.
That's how I am, dude.
But the point
Yeah.
is that you do need to carve out alone time. Like that's really what it comes down to is instead of creating a fight so that you can get alone time, if you just had like a couple hours that were like, this is my
You just
time.
communicated.
Yeah,
that you
communication.
needed your
Trying.
alone time.
I'm
Exactly.
trying.
Is the
It's
key.
but it's knowing strengths and weaknesses. Like you know that his weakness is communication. He knows that your weakness is that you're so annoying, right? That's what you said. It's
Exactly,
really
yep.
super annoying, right? So you know what you both have to work on. You have to work on being way less like super fucking annoying.
Yeah.
Like super like
I know.
mind-numbingly,
I even annoy
ingratiatingly
myself,
annoying.
so I agree with him.
And then
I
he
get
has to
it.
work on like communication. How easy is that?
Yeah,
Easy.
Shut
I'm almost there.
Oh
I'm
my
about
God.
to yeah.
Buy a phone. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And on that note, we have to take an ad break, so we will be right back. Don't go anywhere. Listen to this very cool ad. Hey, are you listening to Shit They Don't Tell You? Because if not, how are you listening to this ad about Shit They Don't Tell
It's
You?
because they can't turn it off. They don't know how to
They don't know
turn
how
it
to turn it
off.
off. Well, that's pretty convenient for
They're
us.
throwing their phone on the ground right now.
Once
trying
you
to
can
turn
figure
off.
it out, could you please rate us and subscribe and like tell us that we're beautiful?
Listen,
we want it.
We need the validation. But mostly we need the ratings because I mean that's basically how the world is
That's
run.
how
my
we
friend.
continue to make more and more and more of this content, this glorious content that you love so much.
If you like the show, support the show. And if you don't like the show, support the show.
And it's for free. The stars are for free.
Yeah, you give them away for free. It's not like if you give 5 stars, you pay more money.
No.
That would have been brilliant. But
if you wanna give
Castbox
us
is not that
money,
smart. So
that's a different platform. Anyway, I hope you're listening to this on Castbox. And if not, you should get Castbox because it's great.
they should have charged for every single star. I would have made so much money. And it just made a killing. Listen, you have batteries, and you're wondering, what the heck am I going to do with all these batteries? I have like so many batteries at home. What am I going to do? Well, introducing the new battery container. That's right. It's a container for all those batteries you have laying around. You've been looking at you're like, what? This is so annoying. Well, now it's way less annoying. That's right, the battery container. For 3 easy payments of $24.99, you can bring this home to you. You have to pay shipping as well. That's right, it's a bit of a bitch, but once you get it, you'll know why. That's right, it's the battery container.
And
TM.
we're back. Wow. What an item. Anyone that's been in a relationship for more than 5 years has definitely dealt with the same thing.
And this is real, man. Like, it's not like we're all talking about how we fuck 3 times a day. Like, this is real shit. I like
Who does
this.
that?
It's not
But
like
exactly.
the beginning.
But no, but people
In the
like to
beginning, yeah.
front.
We need
like,
some
Yeah.
tips.
they like to front like that shit, you know?
Absolutely.
Yeah, especially on the
absolutely.
tubes, man.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, look, I love sex, but it just ain't happening. Like, there's not enough time to do that many sex sessions. Anyway,
I can
are
be
we back?
very quick.
We're
I
back.
can be
okay.
very fast.
Oh, okay.
Oh, nice.
Sexually.
You could be
by the way.
what?
I can be very fast.
I know.
Thank you.
Oh, I know.
Thank you. Hey, thanks for having my back because I was trying to. I
Hey,
was
you know
worried.
what, Steve? I know.
Thank you. See?
That's good. You know what?
I told you. See, isn't that great? I can. Be
I
that
need to
fast.
be faster.
Yeah, he has a problem with being lasting
Yes.
too long.
Oh, it's more convenient
or
if
it's
you're
like
faster.
way too long.
Yeah.
That's a
Way
stereotype
too
too.
Where I'm just like, come on, I want you to get your satisfaction too. Like, what's going
But
on?
hurry up.
She
Yeah,
gives
like,
up on me
hurry
before I
up.
even
That's
finish.
fine.
She what?
She gives up on me before I even finish.
She
it.
closes
Most
the
of the
shop?
times. Yeah, it's just like we're done. Like,
Yeah, I'm like, oh, that's it.
Well,
like,
if
you're
it goes
taking too
numb
long.
down there, you know.
no.
Right?
She's like, sir, we're closing in 20 minutes.
Pretty much.
I've had to do that on a few guys before because I'm just like, it's just I don't have time. This
Yeah.
is too
It's like,
long.
can we like get this along? I
Like,
got
I
shit
know-
to do.
Are you seriously going to do that to me right now? Are you seriously going to do that to me right now? Are you seriously going to talk about other guys right now? Are you really going to do that right now?
I'm saying I didn't
You're the only
like
one
it.
in her life
Are
ever.
you really going to do that right now?
Here's the thing. I blame the porn industry though because the porn
Yes.
industry makes guys think that they have to go really long.
Yes.
55
Last
minutes
longer,
long.
yeah.
Girls don't really like that.
Let me ask you
And
guys
the poor
this.
girls are bummed too. They're bummed. They're like, I want a water.
Can
You know what I
get
mean?
a
Yeah,
break?
they're like I'm thirsty.
I talked to them. Like they're like, yeah, it's not real. We have to cut a lot and we have to take breaks and shit.
Yeah, they have to take breaks exactly because it's
That
not
sucks.
real. God, I wish like this is some shit that you need to know if you're a boy right now that watches porn or a girl, but like really like the guys are the ones that have these expectations that you do not need to last an hour and a half. No
and,
girl wants
and you
that.
don't need
never.
to come a bucket. You don't have to come a bucket.
Yeah, never.
You don't have to.
I would say I could go max 45 minutes. That's like my maximum. Like I'm really putting the time in, like sweating hard. Like
Yeah.
that's too long.
For me, if it lasts longer than an improv show, it's too long, man. That's too long. Because you know what? Improv shows are too long.
yeah,
And I know
They
because
are,
I
they
did them for
are.
a decade. You never been doing an improv show and go, it just wasn't long enough.
And
It's never happened.
You do feel really fucked if you have to be there too long.
Oh yeah, you're like, oh God, there is no God. There's nothing up there. There's nothing. It's a great expanse.
What was it that you wanted to ask?
I was gonna ask you, what is the time that women want sex to be? Like, how long?
For me, when I'm having sex, I never really time doesn't exist.
Yeah.
So I've never really measured or
it's just
time.
Wait, you can't say that. You just said that it
No,
lasts
no.
too long. You're looking at the clock.
when it's gone
Yeah,
too long.
because it's
Based off feeling.
Yeah, it's a feeling of this is too long.
I thought you were rolling over looking at the clock like,
No, we're not here with timers.
Yeah,
and
I've never
Okay,
timed.
okay.
I actually don't even know what the average amount, the length that we go for. It's just time just doesn't exist. But for sure, you feel when it's too long.
When
I'm tired.
When your vagina is I quit 5 hours ago. Then that's too long.
It's so beautiful that you're like, when I'm with Casey, time doesn't exist.
Yeah,
That was
it's
kind of
so
beautiful.
romantic.
Until it
It
does.
never does, honey. I'm just
Yeah.
kidding.
Yeah, that's nice.
So you guys have a kid too in the mix, which adds another layer to a long-term relationship.
Oh, yeah.
And how has that how is that? What are the challenges with that?
Well, in the beginning, so when we started dating, Isaac was 4. He was gonna be turning 5 soon. And so in that time, he was just this really curious kid, always wanted to see what we were up to. So, and it's like he had a sixth sense, because every time we wanted to get, kind of intimate and, start kissing and stuff, all of a sudden he'd pop up. And
Our cats are like that.
Actually, our cats are like that, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we call them CBs, cock blocks. And I'm like, oh, man.
Yeah. No, he
CB.
totally is. But with a cat, you can just kick him off the bed. With a kid, you're you have to be much more gentle.
Yeah.
And
You can kick him off the bed. What are you talking about? Jesus.
No, there's just one time we were trying to get it on, and he's outside playing pretend or whatever. He's we can hear him playing pretend.
Playing pretend?
Yeah.
What is that
You
one?
don't play pretend?
No, this is absurd.
Okay, I play pretend too.
It's not a sophisticated
I
game.
think you're wonderful. You're very creative. You're gonna end up a genius.
He is great. But I don't remember this, because usually, from what I remember, it's we'll try to get things going when he's asleep. We don't really do it.
Oh, no, okay, this is before we actually moved in together. This is at the house that I met
probably
you
then.
at. And,
Yeah.
we were trying to get it on. And then, I think we were, just about to get started. Or we're ready now. We're about to go in on it. And then we just hear...
Very graphic.
Wow.
Go in
No,
on it.
He even punched his hand.
Yeah,
We just
he's
got all the ice off of the windshield. We're getting in the car. We turn the key. That's how you make it. I love it.
That's
I love
right.
it.
I'm being detailed here, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no for the audio people.
Panties
I have
off
to-
or
I
on?
have to pay
They were
it.
off or on?
Exactly.
Off or on? On you, off her.
Yeah, right.
Exactly.
But no, we were about to get started, and then we just hear a knock on the door. And he's like, "Mommy," and we're like, "What?" And then we're like, "Oh, if we don't respond,
Play it cool,
he'll
play it cool.
He'll
We're
go
not
away.
home, we're not home.
Yeah,
Turn the lights.
we're asleep, right?" And so we're like, just be
children.
quiet. And then he'll go away, and we'll hear him play again, and then we'll we'll get started again. And we'll probably ruffle up the
That makes me
the
sound like such a
blankets.
horrible mom.
No, you're
what?
fine.
This is
No,
this
this
is
is
realistic.
relatable. This is
No,
real
but
life.
I'm really trying hard to think about. I don't remember this at all. I
Really?
really don't remember. Maybe you got me confused with another mom that you dated.
No, you're the only mom I've ever dated.
Just kidding.
We do
But
call
anyway,
him
what
the
happened?
mom
She's a
fucker
MILF.
privately. We do.
No, it was just a back and forth of "Mommy?" And then he'll be quiet again.
Maybe he was pretending with his pretend mom.
Oh, maybe right next to the door,
Yeah.
right?
Oh man, yeah, those are for sure.
So then he comes back to the door.
He comes back to the door, and then it'll just be a constant back and forth of dealing with being quiet. It's we're almost we're back into our children's state, being a kid again, being
Yeah.
a teenager
Oh,
again.
hiding from
Trying
your
to get
parents?
away.
Yeah, your
Get
kid
away with
becomes
it.
the parent now. It's like,
Oh,
when you're
yeah,
a
we have been
teenager,
in a lot of
you have
situations like
parents
that.
where you have to kind of
Yeah.
hide your sex life from your parent, and then for some reason, once you get old enough to have sex openly in your own house, now you have to hide from your kids.
That's so interesting.
so
I
easy.
never thought of it like that, but that's
Yeah.
so true. I bet a lot of parents out there feel that way.
No, because when you're kids, you're trying to fuck everywhere. There's nowhere I didn't try to fuck.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Cars
And
were
your
a
parents
huge
did that
plus.
too. Well, maybe not your parents, but
Right.
my parents did that too, for
Dang.
sure. And I feel so bad. I remember one time distinctly that I knew what they were doing and I interrupted on purpose. I know, I'm such a bitch. Now
Wait,
I'm like, why
what?
would you do that? That's
Why
so
would you
fucked
do
up.
that?
Well, because I was trying to sleep. It was it was my first year of college. So I was way too old to be in
Oh,
their
wow.
house. Yeah, I know. I was a dick. But
Whoa.
I was
You CB.
okay, when you're I'm trying to go to sleep and you're playing video games in the living room and you're like talking on Grand Theft Auto to people.
Yeah,
and,
talking shit, yeah.
And I'm like trying to fall asleep for hours and I finally am just like, I can't do this. So I go into the living room and I'm like, who are you talking to? You gotta stop talking to them. You just gotta stop. I need to sleep. Okay, so it was like that where I'm like half asleep zone. Like, and they're just, they've been like I heard
And you
them.
hear me screaming racial epithets in the other
Like
room into the
I
microphone.
heard
I understand.
noises, but I like convinced myself at the time that that's not what they're doing, but they're being loud in there. So whatever, it's too loud and I need to sleep. Finals are tomorrow, blah. And I just knocked and I was like, hey, can you guys be quiet?
What'd they say?
Oh.
And then the next morning,
That hurts my
parents,
guts.
I know that that's what they're doing because they scrambled to come up with an excuse. Like usually if they weren't doing anything, they wouldn't have tried to come up with an excuse. But the next morning they were both like, Dad had a bloody,
we were
he had a bloody
candle
nose.
making,
No, they said, Dad had a bloody nose last night and he was freaking out about it and he was like screaming about it and he was like, oh my God.
Your dad was the one that was making most of the noises.
So that's why there was blood all over the bed, you see.
And I was like, oh, okay, well, you guys were just loud. That's all. And I feel like such a dick now because back then I was just like, can't they save it till whatever? But you can't. Like, you can't save it till whenever. Like, that, they have full-time jobs. Like,
That's
was
a CPA.
when.
He's under stress all day.
Yeah.
Like, fucking is not going to be
No.
an often occurrence.
But now I totally understand. Things that you don't understand until later.
At what point in that night or morning did you realize they had sex? Because you said you didn't, you heard noises, but you weren't really like.
Well, the morning when they were like, well, Dad had a bloody nose, and they were like being really weird about it. Then I was like, oh,
gross.
that's okay.
I like that you left and they're like, do you think she bought it, right? Are they out of their minds? I love that shit. And I'm so bad at excuses too. I'd be like, no, really, you should come into the bedroom. Like, look at all these bloody tissues in the trash can. See, he was obviously had a bloody nose.
They get the food dye and everything.
Right.
To like make it laugh.
And she's
Fully
like,
commit.
hurry, shake it over the garbage can. It's like, she's coming.
No, when you're younger, you do not want to picture your parents having sex. I mean, you don't want to picture it now, but like you don't want to think that they have sex. But now being older, I'm like, I hope they still fuck. Like I hope
That's
they
true.
still are
That's
having
true.
sex and they're happy and they're intimate with each other. But yeah, that's got to be tough to find time when you have.
Yeah. Do you
kid
think
in there,
Isaac
too.
thinks about like does Isaac?
Does he know what it is yet?
I don't know.
Well, we have talked about him. Well, what do you mean?
Well,
he does know what sex is.
Yeah,
like
but
I've talked about it with him since he was little. Like obviously not like full graphic, but like baby steps. I'll talk to him about like he has his body parts, and then a girl has the body parts, and then now like he's getting older. The other day he asked us, he's like, "Mommy, what's cum?"
Holy shit.
Yeah, so I was like, okay.
Well, he is in school. He's in public school,
I
so that'll
can't
do it.
wait for those
Absolutely.
moments.
He's in 4th grade already, so he was talking to us about how like some of his friends would talk about it, but like not really explaining what it is, and they'll just kind of like giggle and like they'll just be like, "Oh, come," and so he asked us, and so we went into that full-on conversation. So sometimes like nowadays when we're getting busy, and I'm like, "Oh man, I really hope he's asleep. Like he's really knocked out. Like I hope we're not making loud noise because I mean that." I just don't want to have that conversation where like, were you guys having sex last night? Like that's too awkward.
Yeah.
Too awkward.
That is awkward. I don't know how we'd be. I honestly don't, because on one hand, I feel like we're really open and stuff, but then on the other hand, like, you don't want to.
Well, once you have a kid,
Conversation.
it's like how you have a plan for something, right? And like you mapped it all out and the plan's perfect, but then you take that first punch to the face and your plan goes out the window.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Like, I
That's
feel-
every single day.
You know what I'm saying? So I feel like we are cool now.
Yeah,
but
in our
once we get
heads,
that
we're
first
really cool.
punch
We're like,
to the
yeah, we'll
face-
just talk to them about it. Whatever. They should know.
No, because then they start asking a million questions about it, and then you're like, I don't want to live in this reality where I have to answer all these questions. So you're like, I'd rather just like cover it up. So I understand why my parents didn't talk about sex forever, which was a mistake.
Oh, yeah.
A mistake, right? My brother's in the room. He's nodding his head.
That's,
Biggest mistake.
Thank you.
that's another thing. You have to find that balance. Like, talk to your kids about sex, but, like, not too much. You know?
Oh yeah, you don't want to be those weird ass creepy parents. Like that one Netflix show where what's it called? I don't remember what it's called, but it's like all about talking about puberty and like the parents
And the
there
parents
are like
talk.
way too open about it, where it's like awkward and gross. It's like
You got to
okay,
keep it
no.
scientific.
There
You
has
can't-
to
you
there's
can't get
balance in
too-
everything. Balance in everything.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So we have a couple of relationship questions that were submitted by the listeners out there, and we get a lot of relationship questions, and I think it's great to answer them with people who are also in relationships, because you get so many different perspectives. There's so many different types of relationships. And I think that people just want to know that they're like normal and that they're not alone and that they're like, you know, doing what they're supposed to do. And just so you know, nobody knows what they're supposed to do. So we can only offer you opinions and advice based off our own
How we winged it.
Yes, how
Yeah,
we winged
exactly.
it by
How we winged it is what the show
Case,
should have been called.
Nikki, and
Yeah.
that's
we winged
exactly
it.
another way to put it. So our first one is from a person that they didn't use a pseudonym. Got that word right this
Very
time.
nice.
Thank you.
What'd you say before?
Pseudonym.
We don't have to talk about
It was sad. It made everyone sad.
It
No,
made everyone sad.
after the show, we all took a knee together and we held hands.
You know what? Okay, I dropped out of college. So here's the question. I was friend-zoned by this girl, not once but twice last year. And the second time we actually kissed before, a week later, she decided it's best to be friends. Anyways, we still maintain this friendship, but communication is minimal. We basically have friendly catch-up dates every 1 or 2 months. Yet I still have feelings for this girl, and I'm usually the one initiating these platonic dates. Any advice on how I should handle this?
Get out, bud. Get out. It's
Yeah,
over.
just
Yeah.
stop.
She's not into you.
Get out,
Obviously
bud.
Once
not.
you're on the friend zone, you're kind of stuck in there. You don't get out.
And I'm so
ever.
sorry too. Like that's
No, she's like stringing you along. She's probably the type of girl that I am, which is like
Mm-hmm.
the in too deep girl, where we don't like confrontation. We don't know how to just be straight up
Yeah.
and be like, no, we're too nice. Because I've done that in the past. I remember in
Me
high
too.
school I strung a guy along, not on purpose, but
Right,
like,
it's not on
he
purpose.
he was my neighbor. He was super sweet, and like
You didn't want to be mean.
I didn't want to reject
him.
him.
You didn't wanna hurt his
Yeah, I
feelings.
didn't want to hurt him.
Yeah.
So I ended up like, we would hang out a lot, and he finally just confessed his feelings to me. He's like, I really like you a lot. And then I was like, I'm sorry, but because we would talk. So he knew I was into this other dude.
Yeah.
And so I was
The guy
just
who
like,
treats you like shit, you mean? You mean the guy who treats you
it's
bad all the
so
time?
funny, but that's very true.
I
Yeah,
know.
he treated me like shit, but for some reason I like the guy.
Oh, there's a whole
Because he
psychology
wasn't a
to
doormat.
that.
You just like there's the
No, it's not just that. It's the whole psychology of childhood and what you perceive as love and why you constantly get with the wrong people for you. It's because of certain things that happened in your past, and it's really interesting too. And in order to like find someone right for you, you have to break that psychological pattern. But
Yeah.
that's a whole different topic.
But the whole nice guy TM thing is funny to me too, because it's just another angle. Like I'm using the nice guy thing to get laid, right? Like I'm trying to fuck you by being nice guy to you instead of by being
Genuine.
Right, exactly.
Yeah,
So-
that's why a lot of
there's
girls
a
don't
fallacy to
like
it.
the fake nice, because you see right through
Yeah.
that fakeness.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
I would treat you so good.
I'm the nice guy, like the one who always takes the shit. I always I wake up, I walk outside, and a fucking icicle falls on my head.
I don't need a guy to be nice. I just need them to be real
Yeah.
and have the same viewpoints and sense of humor as me.
but not
Those-
fake it either. Like
not
try to
fake it.
find out what's
Right.
what's the things that you like, and then
And
fake
then
it.
pretend to be into those things.
That's so worse.
It's really bad.
But,
But honestly, Tiffany, I don't think that, because I'm like that too, and I didn't think of it as stringing a guy along, even though that's how guys perceive it. But we're kind of like damned if you do, damned if you don't.
exactly,
Because if you reject them too hard, I mean, there are cases of guys trying to murder women
Yep.
that they got rejected by, people that they just go crazy.
yeah,
One of so I was reading something, and I don't know if this is true anymore, but they were doing a survey, and men's biggest fear is getting rejected by a woman that he really likes, and women's biggest fear was getting murdered.
yeah.
That
makes sense.
And you're more likely to be murdered
even a
by
little bit afraid of
you're
being
more
murdered.
likely to by a lot of percent more likely to be murdered by a man than a woman. If
Wow.
you were to
Did you
be
ever have
murdered.
those thoughts? Like, or
Hey, tell it to my ex-wife. You know what I'm saying?
I didn't think, oh, this guy's gonna murder me, but I did have thoughts like, I don't want to put myself in danger.
Yeah.
If it's just me and this dude, he's walking me to my car, we're alone.
Yeah.
I don't want to make him feel uncomfortable in a way that makes me unsafe.
Yeah.
And you don't know, and that's the scary part, is that it could be the nicest guy, and then they just snap.
Yep.
Right. And so you put women in a position where if this guy's cool with us being friends, then that's okay, cool. So it sounds like he accepted us being friends.
Yeah.
Sure, if he wants to initiate coffee, like, I don't see the harm in that. Like, what's the harm in that?
Especially when they're not honest about their feelings too. If they are
Yeah.
entering this friendship with different intentions, and then they're not honest about that, and then you place them in the friendship box.
Right.
They've already established that that's the type of relationship that
And
they
we
have
agreed
with
on
you.
it.
Yeah.
Like, if we already agreed on it, like, hey, I'm not interested in you, and like you're cool with that, then you have
And
to
let's keep
know
hanging out.
that.
What's the incentive? I don't get the
Yeah.
incentive.
For the guy or the girl?
For
the
I guess
guy,
either way.
the guy thinks that because
Should
the
change his
girl's
mind.
agreeing to go on these
Oh,
dates,
he's still got a
because
chance.
he's still calling it a date. And I'm sorry to break it to you, but this is not a date.
Yeah, it's
this
not.
is this girl being nice and being like, oh, well, I don't want to diss you because you're a nice guy, so I'll agree to go to coffee with you. But she does not see this as a date.
Yep.
So but the guy sees it as a date, and that he still has a chance.
Yeah, we can't
Well,
be.
the guy sees it as like a drug too. I feel like, because for me, like having been in the friend zone with lots of girls, it's like it's more like.
Okay, you're married now.
I know,
Yeah.
you're right. I can come out openly about being friend zoned, right?
Coming
No
out of the
shame in that.
closet, being friend zone.
But it's almost like a drug where you just want to be next to this person, and your adrenaline, your heartbeat, it just all shoots through the roof, and you're like, I love this. Even though I can never fuck her, I can never really be her boyfriend. I just want to be around her, and if I can't be around her, then I get withdrawal symptoms, and I'm just like depressed.
See, that's what's scary is
That
that
is scary.
the guys get that obsessed, and then it's harder for us to reject them because they're
guys are
so
ticking rape
obsessed.
machines.
Yeah.
Honestly, like it's scary because some of my friends have been raped, so it's not.
No,
it's
I'm
not
not-
like something that couldn't happen. It's not
Yeah.
something that's off the table. It's a very scary, real fear.
Yep.
Yeah, I get it. No, I'm saying I don't necessarily disagree. I have a hard time because I'm not a girl, so I don't understand.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's what's hard about it because to you, like a guy that would never do that or rape a girl or hit a girl or do anything
Thank you.
violent,
That's
Can't
very
even
sweet. Thank
fathom
you.
it.
then you can't fathom it. But for girls who communicate and are intimate with a variety of types of guys, after a while you're like, oh my god, that guy could snap. Like there are guys that I've definitely been on dates with that I'm like, I'm scared that this guy's gonna snap.
Really?
Yeah, and you take those experiences with you, and you're just you have a guard up.
Always, yeah.
Yeah.
It's very true.
On to a lighter question.
Yeah. What's your favorite kind of pie?
Pecan.
Oh, good answer.
For real.
I love a pecan pie.
Yeah, pecan
I thought
pie.
you would say apple because you're all about like apple and.
No, because you can't find a good pecan pie out
I
here.
agree.
California, like LA specifically, I haven't found a good pecan pie out here.
Costco,
Finally.
man. Have you ever
Costco?
gone to Costco? Their pies are, I don't even like pie, but their pies are delicious.
Really?
Yes.
You gotta get a Costco.
Sponsored by
Costco
Costco.
pecan pie. I tell you what, you can't go wrong.
Okay, no,
Tiff?
but we have a real question.
Okay.
Oh, and it's nice. It's not, will not end with rape or violence. Hopefully. Okay. Hey guys. So I'm a 30-something-year-old female who happens to be a virgin. I haven't dated much and I don't want kids, but I do want to be married, and I'm afraid time is running out for me to enjoy what could be the best sex of my life with the love of my life. Is being a virgin at my age, mid-30s, still something that's considered weird? I don't think I'm opposed to having casual sex, but my concern would be that I'd get attached, make everything awkward and complicated. Am I thinking too much into this? How do I go about making this happen before it's too late? Thanks. Signed, Victoria's Got a Secret.
Yeah.
I like that
Nice
name.
pseudonym.
That's a hot name, I will say. Victoria, one of the hotter ones for sure.
Man, that one's tough.
Yeah, so mid-30s, virgin.
I mean, it's if you bring it up, then it's weird, right? Like because I'm only saying that because like she's the one who's saying like, hey, I want to point out the interesting thing about me is that I'm 30 and I'm a virgin. So that is unusual, right? Now that I don't think there's nothing wrong with you.
Oh, there's nothing wrong with it, no.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, yeah, that is unusual. So I mean, what do you do about that? I wouldn't blow everything up like the next guy's got to be the guy.
Oh
Right.
no.
That's what I think
That's gonna
too.
make it
I don't
worse.
think you should operate out of fear of missing out, which it sounds like when you start talking about how
You're missing out on the best sex of your life.
yes,
Yeah.
you don't want to just start going sex crazy just to see if you're missing out on the best sex of your life. But I would say do what you're comfortable with. Like just experiment. Go a little bit out of your comfort zone and see if you like it. You might love it. I think that's losing your virginity is probably the hardest part.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
such
Yeah,
a build up
sorry.
too, man. Because I remember when I was like 18 and earlier even like being like, oh no, before I was 18. But I remember being like, oh man, when I lose it, it's got to be the most perfect person. Like it's got to be like the most perfect moment and
you
all this
built it
shit.
up?
Oh,
perfect
sure.
setting.
Because everyone
Total
built it up.
opposite.
Oh, really?
I was like,
yeah?
I just want to get rid of this thing called the virginity.
That's
I'm
great.
so Mexican. Just kidding.
I feel like that's
all
a good
my
way
friends
to
have
do
lost
it.
it already.
That is a good way to do
We're
it. I wish
13.
I did that because instead I built it all up like it gotta be this fucking moment and it gotta be candles, gotta be the right Luther Vandross playing or whatever. And then when you're like now looking back, I'm like, God, I just wish it wasn't to X-Men.
And we
2,
already
X-Men
heard
United.
about how
But you know what I'm saying? Like I wish
Steve
it.
lost
I
his
wish
virginity.
I wish I didn't build it up like that.
Because it's never going to be as good as what you have in your head.
Right. So if
Yeah.
that's what's stopping you from sex at 30,
Setting yourself up for failure if you have all these super high expectations.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
why for me, I was just like, you know what? All my friends are already having sex. I was 16. I'm like old, especially around, with my
Yeah,
group
yeah,
of friends.
yeah.
I was just like, dang, I'm too old now. I'm still a virgin. I was just like, I gotta just throw this thing away. Like, let's just get this thing
throw it
over with.
away. Who's the next person that walks by?
do you think whoever deflowered you at 16, he's listening to this and you're just like, I threw it away like it was garbage, and he's like, oh fuck.
Well, he was
Oh,
also
shit.
a virgin too, and I remember after he was such an asshole, he was like, "Are you sure you were a virgin?" I'm like, "Nice, that's a compliment because I
Yeah.
was that great.
That's
Thank you."
tight.
He seems so experienced already.
No, but what did he know? He was a virgin too.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Yeah, just don't build it up so much, and then
Yeah.
have fun.
I did not build mine up at all, but I will say I feel like it was pretty perfect. I liked the way.
Hey, easy.
I loved
Hey.
the way he did
Hey,
it.
I'm
to
right here.
me. No, because the first couple times we tried was in the back of my car. It was like the back of a Toyota Celica, which is a 2-door car. It was really bad. Did not happen. Never happened. No penetration was able to commence. But then when we actually did make it happen, it was like our anniversary. There was champagne. We were in a
Aw, that's
hotel
sweet.
room. It was nice.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Which I think is the best it could have gone. Not the
Blow it out
floor
your
of
ass.
a movie theater. Steve Greene.
Floor of a movie theater.
Floor of a movie
Oh,
theater.
let's hear that story.
Packed
during the
house,
movie.
X-Men 2, X-Men United. I've told the story before. I'll tell it again. It was prom night. After prom, went to X-Men 2, X-Men United. Barely got in, by the way, because there's so many fucking people.
Oh, shit.
What? You still did this?
My incredibly insistent girlfriend at the time. Yeah, man, we just did it right on the ground.
She was a virgin too?
Absolutely, and it was sticky time.
Ew.
It was a
in
wet
more
time.
ways than one.
And
But it
she
was-
was down too.
Was it a
Damn.
fun time? No, but you know why? Because it actually during the movie. You know when Wolverine is like kicking the shit out of everybody at this mansion, he's like executing fools with his claws. Like this like commando team comes into the right, and I'm having sex for the first time to this. That's literally when we did it. Like the best part of the fucking movie. Would I have rather been watching Wolverine slay all these fools? Absolutely, especially in retrospect. I wish I had just watched the movie instead. Thank you.
Well, we can't all have the perfect first time.
No.
But
Apparently not.
Every time I watch that scene now, I'm like, damn.
No, you can never watch that movie together. Then.
I don't want to.
We should watch it.
hilarious.
That'd be
That
fun.
sounds awful.
That's gotta be rough on your knees, by the way, on the floor like that.
Yeah, well, no, she was on top of me.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Like,
all
you
right.
already,
on someone.
you already like pictured this entire.
I don't know.
You're picturing me doing it the way you do it,
Yeah.
the weird ass way you do it,
Oh,
whatever the hell
right,
that is.
right. How can
Missionary.
Whatever the hell
You
that is.
lost
Me.
your virginity the bitch way. Girl on top. That's how
That's
you
the
lost
bitch way.
That's a
That's
bitch
the way
way?
I did it too.
Oh, really?
'Cause that's
how a
man
it's
has
not a bitch way
sex.
for you. It's a bitch way for
No,
the
I know,
guy.
for him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because the girl's in control the whole time.
Listen,
You know, honestly, I kind of like looking back. I kind of wish I would have been the one on the bottom because it was hard being the one on
Yeah,
top.
for
I
your
was
first
like,
time.
"Oh, it was
Although the way that Gio lost it was in the bathroom stall with her on top.
Oh shit!
Yeah, I just
really?
remember from
Damn, I
Ask the
should know
Feels, I'm
this.
like,
I'm
damn,
her
she's a
BFF.
G.
What the hell? Just kidding.
I just remember her talking about it on Ask the Feels one time.
Oh, I wasn't paying attention.
Oh.
I just know that, yeah, she was inside me, and it was a really beautiful time.
There we go. That's all
She
that counts.
deflowered you.
Thank you. Yeah.
But to address your
I might cry.
question, Victoria's got a secret. I think that, we're in a time of sexual liberation, and that doesn't necessarily mean have sex with a bunch of people and you have to do that or else you're weird. It also means, like, it's okay to not have sex. It means
Yeah.
being okay with any sort of level of sex. And so whatever you're comfortable with, I would say focus on finding the person that you like. And don't make it so much about your virginity.
Person you got to marry and all
yeah.
this.
Yeah. Or
That's the
losing your
mistake, man, I
virginity.
think. I mean, if I had to spitball, because we're not experts, but if I had to spitball what this is, I think don't build it up and don't look at the next guy like you got to be the one. That's critical,
For
I think,
sure.
mistakes that people can make.
I agree. So good luck to your sex endeavors. And we're about to wrap it up. Thank you guys so much for being on today. If you like this podcast, by the way, and you're listening to this, please rate us 5 stars. It really helps
rating.
us out. It helps us have like real ads during those ad things.
We find we come to find that super helps. It's actually like
super
basically
duper
the only
helps
thing that
us.
matters. So we appreciate that.
Yeah, and before we wrap it up, we like to do just like a final thoughts thing. Final thoughts on long-term relationships. Anything that you would have told yourself that would really help you out today?
Have more patience. Definitely have faith in the intention of the other person, because that's important. You always tend to like assume intentions. And then,
I still do.
Yeah, I know.
Communication,
we gotta take our own advice.
Communicate, yes, communicate.
Yeah, and then always just remember, like, if this is worth it for you, then keep going. Yeah. What about you?
I think, and I think I'm speaking from a guy's mentality, but I think for guys, it's like in high school, it's always about like, get that pussy and like, babes, and it's like,
Hell yeah.
It's not about that though. If you're trying to do a long-term thing, because like age and looks, it's all very fleeting, and I think at the end of the day, it's you really have to connect with someone on a different level where you have to find someone that you really are in tune, like internally, and whatever that means to you, I guess, because I don't even know what that means to me. But I feel it. But I feel it.
I believed you until the end. Wow.
I'm like,
Hey,
I was like, he really found it. He's like, well, I
get-
haven't found it yet.
I get
I
your.
know, right? It's like, oh shit.
I can
All right.
understand your communication problems now.
Exactly.
Because
There
I'm
we
not sure
go.
what you said, but you sure said it.
Thank you.
And good for you.
Like, does that give me a lot of credit then? The fact that I'm able to
Absolutely.
make
Very
this
in
work?
tune.
Thank you.
Yes.
He speaks in word Sudoku riddles.
Wait, what?
Sudoku.
Word Sudokus.
Word Sudoku.
Words.
Listen,
Crossword puzzles?
if you
There we
want
go.
some advice, take it from me. Win every argument. Don't lose. No, don't lose arguments, because losers lose arguments. Win every argument. That's what made our
totally.
relationship work. But like, you gotta let go a little bit. Like I can be very argumentatively, like I like to mix it up and
Yeah.
debate shit.
We both are.
Right.
Yeah.
So you gotta just let go a little bit. Like, if you feel like it's like, no, I'm not wrong, so what the hell ever. Just fucking relax a little bit. Like,
Yeah.
If you're
Don't
really
let the
committed to
pride
this
get in the
person
way.
long term, like, you're not going to go anywhere. So what's the point?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
what's the point of being that stubborn?
Right.
You know? Because we're both very stubborn and hard-headed. That's something, like, one of us will come around the corner after a fight and kind of, like, look at the other one and
you would do like the
be like, are we cool? Or
We kind of do that, but not really like that. It's more like, oh, I'm coming into this room to get this thing. Are we cool now?
yeah.
That's pretty
I
similar.
love that.
Yeah.
I think my main thing would just be, I guess patience would be what I would tell myself, and also really emphasizing that carving out time together, no matter
Date night, bud.
how hectic your work life is. Having a date night that's not work related. You don't talk about work. You just connect with each other.
We call it Date Night 2018.
I call it Dick Night 2018.
We call it Date
That's
Night.
tight. That's tight.
How cute. He's sticking to the date
You know what I'm
you're
saying? No, because I like to say it's like Date Night 2018 because I like to make it sound to people watching our vlogs that we only do one date night a year.
Yeah.
So it's fun for that. But yeah, man, you got to take that time.
Yeah.
It's so important.
It is. And there's some shit they don't tell you.
Why didn't anyone tell me?